I don't think he was necessarily doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
That pitch so far today, it's only a couple of pitches into this game, but the curveball arm side has not been able to land that the way that he'd like to.
Yeah. Hey. That game. Start of the game. By softball. Showballs the DH.
3 balls, 1 strike.
3 balls, 1 strike.
MVP Bryce Harper.
By softball for the national. Ouch. Yeah.
Ball strike. Harper thought it was low. He was asking Dan Barzell about.
Asking Dan Barzell about.
You're going to see it fall below that line, but where it's crossing, it's not supposed to be about where it crossed. Grant Holmes trying to.
Grant Holmes.
3-2.
3-2.
Grounded foul.
Grounded foul.
Harper not very happy about that, and perhaps knowing or feeling like that slider was coming his way, and the inability to stay back. Or he's still mad about the previous call.
Oh, both.
Swear jar, Bryce.
No.
Another 3-2.
Another 3-2.
And another foul ball.
And then another foul ball.
Those mics have become too good down there. Level.
Hey, Daniel. Oh. Yeah.
96.
96.
6 inches high.
About 6 inches high.
With 2 down in the first.
2 down in the first.
Pretty good. At least a check on that from Sean Murphy. He probably didn't go, but always give an umpire an opportunity to make a mistake. And now Alec Bohm hitting clean.
Alec Bohm fouled away.
Fastball, he fouls it off 0-1. Bohm, a guy who last year got off to such an amazing start, ended up making his first All-Star appearance, but he really cooled off after the break and struggled in the postseason. So far, hitting 200 this year. And he takes that outside 1-1.
1-1 the count.
Last April was really his hot month. He drove a 28 franchise record for the Phillies in the month of April. A ball and 2 strikes to him here. Hey, take a look at where Alec Bohm has struggled against righties because he's done well. 272 going back to the beginning of last year, but it's the curveball and the cutter, 2 pitches that Grant Holmes has in his arsenal that he has really struggled against.
Boy, baseball today.
Against both those pitches.
I'm just gonna edit the slider got him. Nothing for the Phillies in the first. Okay. You know, type work on. Okay.
You found it then.
Of course I did.
When you think about it,
Are you coming home?
I'll be there when you wake up.
Half
the trips the world takes are trips home. It's the feeling we all eventually long to get back to. No matter what took us away to begin with. We know because at Delta we're travelers, just like you. Which is why we try to make you feel at home long before you even get there.
64-degree night right now here in Atlanta. Bottom of the first. And Michael Harris will start things off for the Braves. Lineup from your local Toyota dealers looks very similar to last night. Sean Murphy bumped up after his big evening, where he drove in 4, had the 3-run homer. And on the mound, a guy who really struggled last year is getting a spot back in the rotation temporarily because of an injury, but it's Taijuan Walker.
And he was Taijuan Walker.
Start 6 shutout innings. Mentioned the idea of attacking, or at least recognizing some.
Come on in.
The reason behind that is you see a first pitch fastball. His fastball last year, he only threw the 2-seamer. Opposing batters 371 with an OPS over 1100. So it seems
over 1100.
His decision to throw that pitch less. Yeah, so that start was against Colorado. Obviously, they don't have the most potent offense, but Rob Thompson took it as a really positive sign that Taijuan Walker is moving in the right direction. And he gets Michael Harris to tap right back to it for the
time. Got Michael Harris right back to him.
The defense behind him with the Braves throwing a righty looks a little different tonight. You have Kepler and Marsh in the outfield.
Arcia's at short.
And the same infield for the Phillies.
Flex is in right. De La Cruz is in left for the Braves. Austin Riley's at third.
Making his first big league start of the outfield. There was
Olsen at first. DH is Austin. No, not Austin. Ozuna. And right now at bat is Albies, Austin Albies.
To call him off in that spot. I mean, the ball landed right in front of him. He was standing there. So any ball that he could get to, he should have gotten to. We're grateful for the mistake, as you mentioned.
Come on in. You're watching that Pete McDevitt show.
It was a back and forth affair last night, but ultimately, after getting down 5-3, the Braves would score the final 4, and the bullpen held serve for the victory. One-two to Ozzie.
1-2. I gotta check something.
The head of it fouls off the curveball.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom. No game for him.
Foul tip, but it's caught by Real Muto.
Real Muto caught it. 2 away.
We see throughout the night here from Taijuan Walker, and that is figuring out ways to disguise the fastball and use it late. They were trying to throw a front door 2-seam fastball, but it was such a steady diet of cutters and splits and curveballs leading up to that. The fastball catches you by surprise when that's the first time you see it. Now Marcell Ozuna.
Marcell Ozuna.
Taijuan Walker. Walker, who's been around a long time. Anybody who follows baseball, you know this guy. Parts of 13 seasons. And he's trying to get a 1-2-3 inning here, but that one trickles foul.
That one trickles
last year was
foul.
The most disastrous season for Taijuan Walker. 2 IL stints, and when he was out there healthy, he struggled so much that they moved him to the bullpen. And again, the only reason he's getting a spot in the rotation is Ranger Suarez has a back injury. He's on the injured list, and that had a vacancy. It's become a contract that has really gotten in the way here for the Philadelphia Phillies. There's still 2 years left, this one and the next one, on that 4-year, $72 million deal.
Okay.
Yeah, they got to the point where really in spring training, his roster spot, people thought he was safe, but it wasn't really guaranteed. But they definitely envisioned him back in the bullpen. But right now, with the injury to Suarez, he starts. We'll see if this new way that he uses his stuff, again, limited fastballs and more of the off-speed, proves to be effective. It's hard to do. You get a little bit older sometimes. He's had a good career. He's got better than 10 years of service time in the league. But all of a sudden, you can't get anybody out with your fastball. You have to kind of rediscover and redesign the way that you pitch. Slider misses, so full count to Ozuna.
Full count to Ozuna.
Oh, Marcell Ozuna doesn't like it. It was
Marcell Ozuna does not like it.
The K4 and K5. The next movement for innovation.
And the next movement, acceleration.
Kia, movement that inspires.
This is a landfill? WM is transformed what you think of as landfills into engineering marvels while helping to protect the natural environment. Learn more about our modern landfills at wm.com/stories. Plastic is commonly used across the retail industry to ship products. Now, WM is collaborating with a leading retailer to give these hard-to-recycle plastics a second life. See how at
come on in.
wm.com/stories.
Hit him up with that like button, everybody.
Baseball. Get MLB Network today. Stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week and 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows. Start streaming MLB Network for just $5.99 a month.
Introducing the Big Four, the blueprint to your offseason. Be in charge for all the big moments as the GM. More realistic contracts and negotiations. Top free agents set the offseason pace, and big markets lead the charge. Fully updated defensive lore to show just how valuable the best gloves in the game are. We've redefined how trades, prospects, and contracts come to life. And MLB The Show 25.
Talent-wise, with the Correas and the Royce Lewises and the Buxtons firing at the height of their power, they're probably the most talented team.
Field report. Wiley Ballard's going to tell us a tale about a change for Grant Holmes this year. Yes, Brandon. And if you're into pitching and the nuances of it, this is an exciting piece of information for you because Grant Holmes, he was so good last year getting chased outside of the zone with his curveball and his breaking ball. But he came a little bit two-dimensional.
Nobody. Tie game. Last one. Going to the top of two.
He's spiking his finger, particularly his
to be exact.
finger. The reason he's doing this is because he is a supinator. So what that means is if you reach out with your right hand and try and turn a doorknob,
Hoppo did. He walked, and then they stranded him on first. But it's right now for the Phillies. Kepler. 2, 3.
Again, it was 4-seam slider against the righties, 4-seam curveball against the lefties.
5, 6, and 7 coming up to the plate.
Both sided hitters, and Grant says he's comfortable throwing it in any count. First of all, it's a super report from our supervisor down there in Wiley Ballard, and it's fascinating, right? That they have this information.
Look at this hell,
which way do you follow through? Which way does your arm turn? Most guys are pronators, and when they find out you are a supernator, there is a design of pitches that will
Holmes
for you.
pitching.
Wiley, it's still a little bit of a work in progress. So it will
5, 6, and 7.
Once you get that information, you realize, Spencer Strider a couple of years ago had said, I'm not really built to throw a changeup. Well, maybe this is the kind of changeup that you have to throw if you don't have that traditional follow through. So we'll see how it plays out, but he seems pretty excited about it. That gets by Orlando Arcia, kind of snuck under the glove.
Right past Orlando Arcia.
Will reach to start the second. Well, this is again,
thank you, Jacob.
You're going to see this short hop for Orlando. Tried to pick it clean with his hands. We know it's so often for him that he could just use those hands and come up with it, but unfortunately he did not there. Goes as a single for Max Kepler.
Base hit single for
Nick
Kepler. Noel.
3 hits, including a couple of doubles.
Phillies lost last
There's
night.
a lot more supinator and pronator this year. I mean, everybody pronates. It's a matter of right. I mean,
That's more like an understatement than an overstatement.
Throws a curveball for a pronator.
Be exact.
Eventually, his arm comes all the way back around.
And then they swing and miss.
Super slow-mo.
Makes it 1 ball,
And the fact that they can figure
1
out,
strike.
I'm so jealous of this generation, the information that they have and how quickly they can figure out that type of pitch is never going to work.
No offense, Philly fans, but the batters need to learn to stay back.
Castellanos reaches
for one. Kepler tags and stays put. Well, as long as I'm thinking about it, why don't I do this too? See how many people are going to be in here. Okay.
Describe what was happening in real time. I'm glad you didn't say it a long time ago. But you're right. It was back in the old days. You were counting on eyeballs. You were counting.
Consider what the old days are, genius.
Coaches as you were trying something new. Now it's instant feedback on spin and break have the answer when it comes down to you're throwing a pitch 10 pitches into a bullpen and saying it's good or it's bad or it's working right. It's not. Let's make this slight adjustment until you get the numbers that you're looking for that tell you that it will play against big league hitters. And I don't want to be the get off your lawn guy, but are there any negatives?
Get off your lawn guy?
All that information so quickly. Obviously, the pros outweigh the cons. I get that. Are there negatives? Absolutely. Chasing numbers can be an issue as well, right? Chasing spin. We would worry about that for chasing velocity, but couldn't throw strikes. The idea sometimes of chasing spin is a bad idea. Yes, you want to have it, but there's also these parameters that you were kind of built to be in anyway. Well, that's right down the middle.
That's right down the damn pipe.
He knew it was a strike.
He knew it was a strike.
Good fastball here.
Yeah.
Went a little bit further in, but it still plays. Right? He talked about that fastball command and trying to get some improvement from his last.
If you haven't voted on that poll yet, go ahead and do so as well.
But I'm sure guys like you that when you pitch, you didn't have access to all that. You see some of that now, and they go, well, that would have been nice to have. 100%. Again, like there'd be times where I might be messing with my curveball grip, and pretty much every pitcher could ever tell you this who didn't have the data. And you're like, God, is that better?
1-1,
better, but again, you were counting
2-0,
eyeballs.
1 on.
And pitching
No.
coaches and catchers,
Yeah,
and even
1
pitchers
on,
from
2
different about
outs.
how they reacted
Yun
to the
inning.
pitch. Save a lot.
1 on. The old saying is 2 on, 2 out. Yun inning number 2.
Well, Holmes
But
gave
that
up
ain't
the
the
leadoff
case.
single that got
It's 1
down
on,
to
2
Garcia,
out.
but
Yun inning
this
number
Garcia
2.
strikes out real mute. So now here's Bryson Stott batting 8th in the order.
His butts.
Like he fell awkwardly
Stop.
off the mound there, 2-1.
That's he's playing second tonight. For some odd stupid reason, I can't get the 3D mode to go. There you go.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Evidently, that's a strike.
That was the one in the first inning.
2-2. Kepler will be off at the pitch.
2 down, 2-2 pitch.
2-2.
That one.
Now he will be off.
And the count runs full.
Count runs full. 3 balls,
Bryson Stott,
2 strikes.
his third is the everyday second baseman there at Philadelphia. But he awaits a payoff pitch.
He waits a payoff pitch.
Out to left.
Fly ball.
Just a couple of steps to take it. A hit and nothing else for the Phillies through 2 frames.
Brian De La Cruz picks it up for the third out.
Choose to show up.
The heck is this
With the
going?
bold styling of the Mazda CX-30.
A diaper this leak-free sets them free. Only Pampers Cruisers 360 have a 360 stretchy waistband for up to 100% leak-proof fit on every wild child. Pampers Cruisers 360, the #1 pull-on diaper.
Okay. I got no comment on that last commercial.
We live the biggest plays from every game with Happy LeBar on Quick Pitch, late nights and early mornings on MLB Network.
Huh.
This is a guy who has MVP type potential. Luis Robert is one of the most talented players in the league.
Great nickname, La Pantera.
He has the potential to be
Okay. No comment.
there's nobody I enjoy watching in center field than Mr. Luis Robert.
Baseball is presented by Truist. Bottom of the second, no score here in game 2 of this series. The weather is pleasant. It's supposed to get down again to the upper 40s tonight, but last night was chilly. There was a bit of a breeze. Tonight just feels really good at the ballpark.
Feels a little bit warmer, certainly, this evening.
Ball way outside.
It took me a while to thaw out last night. How about you?
It was cold, especially when we got out of the ballpark and realized the people like Wiley who are actually in the elements, they really had to be chilly. Not gonna lie, I slept in my thermal socks. That's how long it took me to warm up last night after the ball game.
I was double blankets when I got home.
Double.
Megan feeding you hot soup.
No, she was already sleeping.
Oh, okay.
She's making it that late.
Ball.
Balls, 1 strike to Matt Olson.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Taiwan Walker set him down in order.
Taiwan Walker. 2 Ks.
Olson swinging and fouling it away.
Olsen swinging. Souvenir ball.
To the right side, and Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper pitching. He pitches it to the pitcher, Taiwan Walker, for out number 1. About that, what do you do about that?
All 9 in the lineup for Atlanta yesterday had at least 1 hit, and this guy, Austin Riley, played a big role. He had the go-ahead RBI double in the 7th, the right center. And you mentioned it on air, but Brian Snicker said that.
Yeah.
He said when Austin Riley is going good, he plugs that right center field gap.
It's always a sign of a good swing, first of all, but also that you're kind of locked in. Right? We haven't really seen him pulling off pitches, even though he struggled here early on. I thought that, okay, it's fine. You don't see necessarily haphazard swings. If anything, he was taking some pitches, taking some fastballs in that were getting on him. He was chasing some sliders away, but once you start seeing guys get back to their comfort level and drilling the ball to the opposite field, you feel pretty good about where they are.
Well, you saw Brandon Marsh, the center fielder, is a couple of steps over
Austin Riley.
gap right now.
Again, they're thinking about now with
Bum,
most of what you're
bum.
going to get are going to be breaking pitches moving away from you.
Oh, yeah.
You would want to pitch that gap.
Souvenir.
A couple of foul balls here, 1-2.
Back in the stands.
Riley has had some good success against Taiwan Walker, 5 for 12, and that includes a homer and a triple.
That triple was the last time that he faced him, September 11th of 2023. He jumped on a hanging slider.
And he tried to go after a slider there, but
Tried to go after a slider there. 2 outs.
Sean Murphy coming up, and then we revisit his homer from last night. Our destined for Long Beach Florida trip around the bases.
Yeah, an accidental kind of front door sweeper here from Zach Wheeler trying to go away with Sean Murphy. First at bat, just like he did in his rehab assignment, gets that long ball and gave the Braves some much needed offense. 3-run shot for Murphy.
Yeah, 3 shot.
Got an RBI single in the 6th as well. And everybody talking about his new glasses, which turns out it's because he's got astigmatism.
Ooh, that hit him.
He was out because of a rib on the hit by pitch in spring training, and that one got it pretty good.
That one got him clean.
His back-to-back fastballs, this one at 93 miles an hour. And remember, he does not throw a 4-seamer, it's a 2-seamer. So it's going to have run. It's going to run inside to right-handed hitters. And Sean Murphy's not one of those guys that wears the elbow
Ran the
pad.
game ball.
It caught him actually in the back. Not that it would have mattered anyway on the elbow pad.
And that got him clean right on the damn back.
He got hit in the back and
cracked a rib. That's why he started the season on the IL.
That pitch landed a little further up and over toward the arm than where he got on February 28th against the Marlins that injured him. So hopefully Sean Murphy okay.
You don't work contacts, do you?
No.
The reason I bring that up is the difference when you don't even realize maybe you have little something going on with your eyes. I did 20-something years ago and got the LASIX, and I could not believe how much better I could see. My eyes weren't even that bad. Even the doctor had said, like, you sure want to do this? I'm like, yeah, the signs are just a little fuzzy, and I just prefer to do it. And you get out of this thing, and it takes like a day. The way you see license plates when you're driving or the definition of trees, like, it blew me away. And the difference is not something you can overstate here for Sean Murphy and how well he's seen the baseball.
Close. Well, he told reporters last night he tried contacts. He did not like them. It was only for a couple of days. They started looking at options for glasses, prescription, and this is what they settled on. And so far, the results are good.
Yeah, it's encouraging. It's important. Obviously, you need to have not just good eyesight, but your best eyesight when you're trying to be a major league hitter.
De La Cruz.
De La Cruz next one out the left.
Braves trying to put together a little two-out rally.
We'll keep saying it because he deserves it. Brian De La Cruz against righties. Never the plan for him to see much right-handed pitching, and he has been very good hanging in there on the slider. The first one that he saw was a pretty ugly swing that he took, but the adjustment in this at-bat to then take that slider into left field, impressive from De La Cruz.
And now Jared Kelnick, who had a great game last night. It may not jump out on the stat sheet, but 3 walks, a single, and a big diving catch in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
One pitch.
1-1 pitch.
I thought for Kelnick and some others, there were just some really good plate approaches last night for the Braves.
He was didn't chase. We've seen him chase a little bit earlier this season, but something about what he saw from Wheeler, he just tracked the baseball extremely well. That's how we ended up drawing those 3 walks. Some real borderline pitches that he did a great job laying off.
Lays off the splitter there, 2-2. Deuces all over the board. Inning number 2. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch. Inside, full count.
I kind of made a mistake here on Walker. You see, that one there is a 4-seam fastball. He throws it so little. I kind of forgot about it because he had led so much with his 2-seam fastball a year ago, but they'll try to pop a 4-seamer in there once in a while.
And the 3-2, Kelnick fouls it over by Tom Goodwin. Braves trying to jump on the board first here. Walker deals. Ground ball, routine for Stock. 2 stranded, no score after 2.
And that's fine. Never drive those guys.
Party's over, big guy. We're tired of hearing, I don't want to get my truck dirty.
With WeatherTech laser measured floor liners front and rear, a seat protector, and full bed protection, trucks are totally covered.
You just got WeatherTech. Yeah, buddy. Let's get dirty.
Order your premium American-made product at WT.com.
The beach. The Corona. She isn't just a place. She is an element. And salt and spray. She shows us relentlessly into the present. That's what's inside every bottle of Corona. So no matter where your journey takes you, with just a squeeze of lime, the beach is always closer than you think. Corona.
When choosing the right gear to cut, trim, or mow your yard, King has all the power you need to get the job done right.
Tie game
Because
still.
gas or battery,
Two piece.
your local
I mean,
Ford
not
destination
two piece.
with the best power, all under one
Not a
roof.
damn
Like
thing.
Steve, your local
0-0.
and with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Conquering your outdoor projects has never been easier. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Hardware store.
You can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today. To stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week, 24/7 access to MLB Network, and live radio for all 30 clubs. Stream MLB Network with MLB at Bat for $6.99 a month.
Oh, lots of great baseball color and good guess, by the way. Good luck trying to hit that, man. It's unhittable.
This is the show that never ends.
Good crowd tonight here at Truist Park.
Good crowd.
Hey, there's Donna Drake in the red. She is today's A-list member of the game. Family from Cumming, Georgia. Donna's been an A-lister since 2017. Her favorite perk of being a member, exclusive access to the member gate, priority access to postseason tickets, both very good things. Congrats to Donna and her family, today's A-list members of the game. She picked a pretty good time to start, right before the Braves went on that run of winning the division and being in the postseason. 2017 was a good year to get on board. Yeah, so she came at the right time. Maybe Donna is the common denominator. Former Georgia Peach, Brandon Marsh, digging in here at the bottom of the order. Yeah, takes a pitch inside 1-1.
One ball, one strike.
They billed him this year as the everyday center fielder, but with lefties on the mound, he has been mostly on the bench as he was last night. He mainly was in left field last year, but now Max Kepler comes over from the Twins to play left. That moves Marsh to center. 1-2 pitch.
1-2 pitch.
High, 2-2. And it's hasn't been
2-2.
very many plate appearances, but as you mentioned, really not a lot of playing time against the lefties because the left-on-left matchup and he struggled, but he's really struggling against the righties, hitting just 133 coming into this one. He holds off the curveball.
He holds off the curve ball. Come on in if you're brand new.
Payoff pitch from Holmes.
Payoff pitch from
Flips in
Holmes.
the air out towards De La Cruz.
Out to De La Cruz.
He'll bring it in for out one.
He brings it in for out number 1. We're in inning number 3.
Back to the top and Kyle Schwarber. Be interesting to see as the season goes, CJ, if Rob Thompson sticks with alternating Schwarber, the leadoff for righties, and with lefties, Trey Turner. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. The one thing about having Kyle Schwarber leadoff games, it's instant offense. And he puts you on your heels almost right away because he's got all that pop. He does a great job of getting on base, even though he's not your traditional leadoff hitter. It is a much different look. But not that Trey Turner doesn't have that kind of pop in his bat either, but it's special what you get from Schwarber. A bouncer here, though, to Matt Olson. A flip to Holmes, 2 away.
Up to Holmes, 2 away.
Quick message from Georgia Drive Chevy.
The 2025 Trax, starting at $21,795. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
But when Schwarber does lead off, Turner bats second like he is tonight. And this is the spot he hit every game he played in last year behind Schwarber.
Yeah.
Holmes struck him out in the first.
Holmes struck him out in the first.
He finally lays off one of those sliders. He could not help himself in that first at bat after getting ahead 2-0. He swung at 3 sliders that were outside of the zone. Close. 3 balls, 1 strike. So
3 balls, 1 strike.
And then he struck out on last time, was right close to the zone. Then you throw that one 2 inches off the plate. You're like, how does he not swing that? And maybe he learned his lesson. And he takes his base. Second walk issued by Grant Holmes here tonight.
Yeah.
We don't even have to announce who's out. You can just let the crowd tell you it's Bryce Harper.
It's Harper again.
What a pitch to the 8-time All-Star. A little bit outside.
Just a little bit outside, as Bob Uecker would say. Oh.
Second start of the year for Grant Holmes. He's at 56 pitches. At pitch number 57, runs the count to 3-0. Still maybe a tick off with that curveball. There's been a couple of good ones, but he is having a hard time finding the consistency that he is looking for backdoor to left-handed hitters. Fastball works.
Fastball works.
Oh, just a hair high. And
just a hair high.
Walk. 2 on with 2 out. And
2 on with 2 out.
To the plate for Philly. So this was close, and as we mentioned before the game, probably just above the zone.
I'll be right back.
He had a tendency to call this high fastball. So that one might have caught the very top of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Bohm hitting cleanup, struck out in the first, and he stays away from the slider. Now, Rick Kranitz, I could see that he was kind of stirring around over there in the Braves dugout. He's going to come out here and talk to him. And probably a little bit surprised, quite honestly. The start that we saw with the Dodgers, the strike rate for Grant Holmes was the lowest. I know it's been a brief career for him, but the lowest of any outing in which he has thrown at least 3 pitches. That's what we saw from him. It looked like he had kind of gotten it corrected, and now it's slipped back in the other direction. And that's new for Rick Kranitz when he's talking about Grant Holmes, because he was such an exceptional strike thrower last year. This year, maybe just early on, a little bit more of an issue, and you can see the pointing to the head. Let's get a little bit more focus on where we want to throw these pitches. And 28 of the 60 have been balls here tonight. And last year as a rookie, threw just under 70 innings, 7 starts, and he had 19 appearances out of the bullpen. But the 4 walks to begin this year against the Dodgers last Monday, and now 3 walks here through less than 3 innings tonight. One and one to Alec Bohm, and the drop-off so far, we don't want to overthink it too much early in the season here, but it's been the first pitch strikes. 65% last year, and so far updated to this game, just 50%. Well, Rick Kranitz so far is 2 for 2 since he visited the mound. Two on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. He struck him up. Slider, when it's on, it is good, and he gets Bohm to in the top of the 3rd. Rick Kranitz to the rescue. You got a problem? Call Cranny. He can get you right. Let's slider there from Grant Holmes.
RVA has helped me learn by giving me more hands-on activities.
I can watch his writing develop. He has confidence to ask questions of his teachers if he doesn't understand. He's composing his own schedule, which is a lot like what a young adult is going to need to learn how to do, and he's learning that at home.
My favorite part about being in the RVA is all the amazing clubs. I get on some clubs and then I realize that there are so many people like me.
Getting on $5 million. Thank you, sir.
These people of privilege hoarding the financial advantages for far too long.
0.5 at the back.
Look at them, unaware that Robin Hood Gold members now enjoy VIP treatment. The 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. Once they discover their privileges are no longer exclusive, their fragile reality will plunge into disarray.
Any given Saturday. And a little work. And a little play. Hey, little help. And a truck that says no to nothing.
Can we get them right?
Yeah. The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
We missed you.
One of the more rare feats in the history of baseball. He's going to be a perennial all-star, MVP frontrunner.
It's a unique athlete, a unique talent.
It's a crystal clear evening back here at Truist Park, and Orlando Arcia is back in the shortstop spot for the second consecutive game. Over the last several years, it feels like the Braves have a starting 8 and that's it. But so far this season, it's been a mix back and forth between Orlando and Nick Allen at the shortstop spot. And guys, I asked Smith today about how he goes about deciding who's going to play on a given night, and he was pretty transparent, saying, look, it comes down to history, particularly if one player is more familiar with an opposing starter than the other. That was the case last night. Orlando on an 8-pitch walk. Look out, everyone. I'm okay. Worried about you, Orlando. Yes. The good news is Orlando 3 for 7 against Taiwan Walker, so he's had some success. And that was coming in hot, boys. Nick Allen, look out. Stuart Fairchild. Okay, bottom line is, if Orlando or Nick's got good success against starting pitching, they'll probably get them out that night. And I'm going to try to get my heart back in my chest.
There's a double in there as well for Orlando against Taiwan Walker in his career. They both play really good defense. I could see where it's not easy to figure out who you would want to start on a given night. Orlando got that start last night at the bat flip of the century on that big walk to get that Wheeler out of the game. Chatter about that. That was super fun. And then a big double against lefty that ultimately led to another run for the Braves. So he had a good night. That's the other part. You want to play the hot hand if one guy's going hotter than the other. A lot of different ways to dress this up, but it can't be an easy decision.
A swing and a miss there. Orlando Arcia down on strikes. It is 6 starts now for Orlando this year and 5 so far for Nick Allen. So it's been pretty even at the shortstop position. Nick Allen was going good. Then he had that 3 strikeout game in that last loss against the Marlins. So I think good time to throw Orlando back out there. He had a good game last night, like you said.
Yeah, and you get a guy with the 2-seam fastball running in. That's where he is usually good. I know he ended up missing that one. I like him against lefties, too, with some breaking balls that are coming in.
Stock charges, takes it right off the dirt. 2 away. Well, adding the 6 innings that Walker threw against the Rockies, I know that it's only 8 2/3 so far for Taiwan Walker, but this looks a little bit more like the Taiwan Walker of old.
Yeah, he's reinvented himself a little bit as far as how the pitch mix has gone, but he has been successful basically, and there's been some strikeouts. But the idea when you start throwing more of those off-speed pitches, trying to pitch the contact, and you're looking for weak contact.
He hit Sean Murphy, gave up that single to De La Cruz, but that has been it so far for Atlanta.
Yeah. I wonder how much.
Strikeouts and groundouts, right? Keeping the baseball on the ground for a guy coming off that rough year that we talked about. I think there's a little bit of that fight factor, though, when you don't use your fastball as much and you feel like you're any weaker, but it's just a different way that you have to get hitters out.
Ozzy puts Goodwood on it. 2 out single.
Now, Ozzy gets himself a split finger in this spot, and not the best version of it. Usually that pitch down, as we talked about often, finishing below the zone is where you want it. Leave it in the zone, it becomes a lot more hittable.
So the inning continues, and here's Marcell Ozuna. Struck out looking to end the first on a borderline call. One of the 4 strikeouts tonight for Walker.
You know, an average team spends 80. All teams spend with hotels, flight, and cost of $80,000 for flight, $35,000 for hotel, $28,000 for 25 flyer and 25 support personnel. For
Walker, it is career start number 211 tonight. Up with Seattle and Arizona. Brief stop.
About an average.
He's been in the NL East ever since with the Mets, and now a few years with the Phillies. 1-2 pitch. Count even.
$2.1 million
Keeping Marcell off balance.
per team.
In between, right? Again, it's not an overpowering factor.
So,
missed a couple. That cutter that was away
yeah.
that we saw earlier in this at bat, the same pitch that he
You guys do the math. That's a lot of money.
He's got Marcell guessing along here a little bit. If he guesses right, he'll do some damage. But when you have basically 4 off-speed pitches before you get to the fastball, when it comes to usage, that can be a lot to think about for a hitter.
Again, so that's 2 disengagements, so he can't throw over there again, or he would have to pick off Ozzy Albies. Marcell Ozuna singles.
Marcell Ozuna. 2 on with 2 away.
Good swing here from Marcell. He's going to get the slider from Taijuan Walker, but not a good one, right? You can see it there sitting kind of inner third, not locating down and away like he wanted to.
Hey, if you're looking for a good platform to start streaming on, go ahead and use the discount code. You get 10% off discount with StreamYard. Nothing to do level up. Check out StreamYard. Get 10% off with the link that I just posted in the chat, and you will do that. I know I'm not sponsored by them.
To get those oven mitts on. And we enjoy watching it, quite frankly. Let's rule the ball. 2-0 here to Mendoza.
That's rule the ball.
If JT Realmuto was set up on the outside corner, you're probably going to get that call.
Olsen up the bat.
But that's kind of how it goes sometimes.
Three balls, no strikes.
3 balls. No strikes. 3rd inning. Oh.
Rays got 2 on with 2 out last inning, but couldn't get him across.
2 on, 2 out. In inning number 3. They had 2 on, 2 out. In inning number 2 and didn't get nothing done.
Cutter in there, 3-1.
Cut on that 3-1.
Second time that he's disengaged twice here. 4 different times trying to pick off Ozzy. Right, the other 2 at first and now over at second base. He looks a little annoyed by that. It's rare that you see 2 disengagements at all, but especially not in the same half inning. Of course, that's part of the new rule changes from a couple of years ago. Two down, 2 on, and a 3-2 pitch. That is up. It is in. It is wrong. They are loaded for Austin Riley.
Loaded for Austin Riley. Mound visit.
Caleb Cotham, 5th year as the pitching coach for the Phillies, strolls out there. A lot of conversation about what you want to do right here. And for Austin Riley, going back to the beginning of last year when he was facing the righties, he has crushed 2-seam fastball. That's kind of the go-to choice with the heater, but he's been on sliders as well. Really big numbers. The pitch that he has struggled with more from righties has been the cutter, has been the curveball. That's probably part of this conversation. Obviously, nowhere to put him with the bases loaded.
You got nowhere to put him.
Walker fires home. Outside.
Ball outside. Get this guy out of here. He can't hit the damn strike zone. Why are you guys paying him so much money?
A Brave at every base here.
A Brave at every base. He did not go.
Says Buck Carlson, the crew chief. Now you can get locked into one pitch in one spot. If we take a look at this replay, Austin Riley did not offer at this pitch.
Oh.
Again, with so many pitches working away, for me, it's kind of that outer third that you can look for right now. For Austin Riley. Duo popped up on the infield.
I know what.
Harper has it. The Braves leave them loaded. We are still scoreless after 3.
Start with our point of sale.
Oh, oh,
Train your staff
oh.
with ADS to handle orders ASAP. And with Square Banking, get a loan quickly for everything from small repairs to the biggest dreams. Gain time and peace of mind with restaurant tools that bring everything together. Switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Dig into some baseball bites that taste so good. Join Lauren Shahadi as the game's top chefs and baseball stars. Show off some big league eats that hit a home run with fans.
Yeah.
Over the Plate, Sunday at 1 Eastern on MLB Network.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
Children's of Alabama is a hospital that serves over 300 pediatric patients. So it's incredibly important to us that we came here and was able to spread a little bit of joy. To leave a legacy when we are in different areas of the country is incredibly important to us and a priority.
Together, together, together.
I want to talk about the Angels. They're my big surprise team of 2000.
The Angels make sure that Halo will shine brightly tonight.
The energy level and extract
Game's up.
Magnificent.
High octane. It is fuel. It is hot. It's coming at you in a big way.
105.5 miles an hour. No way. Push the racing in. He'll die. He'll get there. He struck him out. Outfield market, another great spot here at Truist Park on a beautiful night. Moving to the fourth inning. Let's take a look at our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact player. Talking about this right-hander Grant Holmes and his 7 career games against the division. And that's, again, what we're used to seeing. Look at the strikeout to walk ratio for him. 19 punch-outs in his 7
Well, up to
innings.
6 likes on the board. Can we get up to 7, please? Please. Let's get up to 7 likes.
Back to get Bone. Philly stranded 2. So both sides have had base runners, but nobody's been able to push anything across.
Gosh.
It's a great idea for a commercial, if you're like a consultation company, right? Come and kind of make people a little bit better. Get Rick Kranitz.
Anybody?
Full uniform going into the office.
No, I'm going to say.
Reports, talking to guys, how those can get better. Let's take a look at your spreadsheet. And it kind of all works together. He's your perfect pitch man. He's like a better version of the Bobs from Office Space. So he comes in and actually fixes things. I will say, and look, he's been around. He's one of the best doing it, Rick Kranitz. His mound visits always seem timely and effective with a purpose. Right? There are times even when you go out there just to give the guy a breather, but if there's something concrete that you have to offer, it goes a long way. I think Grant Holmes got that message, right? We could kind of get a feel after he kind of points to his head and probably about focusing a little bit more, and he executes 3 great pitches right after that. Cranny been the Braves pitching coach in that role since 2019. Missed him last year when he was gone for a good portion of the year with the family emergency, but been back and so good to have him back on a daily basis. Two to Kepler. Back to the net.
2-2 to Kepler.
Kepler coming in on a 1-year, $10 million deal.
1 year, $10 million. He's only getting paid. Oh boy. I mean, look his contract up. I tell you.
You see play discipline. One reason Dave Dombrowski said they liked Kepler was they thought that he could add some value in that area for the Phillies. And he has. Really low strikeout rate for him. The chase rate has been better than league average. It's early yet. 9 games, 8 starts for him. This is his 9th start, but a 19% walk rate when the league average is 8.5. Fouls off that 96-mile-per-hour heater. He spent the last decade in Minnesota. He was the longest tenured Twin before leaving there this offseason. And even though he's off to a slow start, they may miss him in Minnesota. They are really, really struggling offensively right now. Not been a good start for the Twins. Another 3-2. Riley has a long way to run. Sliding, but it's in the netting anyway. Longest at bat of the game so far. This would be the 10th pitch. This one in play. Fairly deep right center, but certainly playable for Kelvin.
This one's very playable for Kellner.
A word now from Delta.
A word from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Braves.
Now Nick Castellanos.
Now Nick Castellanos.
Second for him. You mentioned the Twins. Meanwhile, for the Braves in the NL East, the Mets, they had their 6-game win streak snapped today. The Fish got them 5-0. And the Dodgers have come back down to earth. The Phillies took 2 out of 3, and then the Dodgers also lost 2 of 3 against the Washington Nationals.
That series ended today. The Dodgers were able to avoid a sweep.
A good little reminder not to overreact necessarily. Yes, the Dodgers are a good team, and the Padres are a good team, but they got off to good starts. But everybody's going to go through their highs and their lows. It's not always going to be the good teams either, right? As far as, like you said, the Marlins, like what they did against the Mets and the Nationals. I wondered for them, right? It was a pretty intense series, even though it was so early between the Dodgers and the Phillies. You get to Washington, sometimes you can have that letdown. It might have been the case emotionally a little bit there for the Dodgers.
James Wood, one of the youngsters amongst a lot of youngsters for Washington in a big series. Two-two.
2-2.
Well, they checked down. It didn't look like he went. 3-2. Nowhere near. He held up. Single to center field. Castellanos is having a good series. 4 for 6 so far here in Atlanta.
It's pretty impressive there. Think about that previous pitch that was up and in. This is a good fastball located down and away, and good coverage from Castellanos. I feel like you have him set up to go away after that, even though it wasn't intentional to be that far in.
Well, look, he can hit. He's been a thorn in the Braves' side. We saw it in the postseason, unfortunately. But I remember last year before we had the series up there in Philadelphia toward the end of the year, and somebody asked him about his approach on hitting, talking about Castellanos. Riley has this.
Wiley has that.
He climbs the ladder to run JT Realmuto.
This ball hit pretty firm, 103 miles an hour, but right at our guy with the good glove. He's got to get up a little bit, does Austin Riley, to pull that in.
So 2 away.
Yeah.
Finishing the thought on Nick Castellanos, though, he said, my style of hitting has always been glorified batting practice. I don't really have an approach. I try to hit the ball as hard as I can. I was like, well, I at least appreciate his honesty.
Not necessarily something that you would ever hear from a hitting coach about how you want to approach things, but it's worked for him. And he is a streaky hitter, and it's because he's very aggressive.
I'll be right back, everybody.
But he can do damage, and he's done it with some consistency over his career.
Put myself on mute.
Probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame as an executive someday. He's had some pretty tremendous runs. But again, I think if they had a first baseman and then put Harper back in the outfield, then they very much would have liked to trade Castellanos and maybe worked a little bit harder to make that happen. Bryce Harper's turning into a very good defensive first baseman.
And he moved over there after Tommy John surgery, and it's proved to be a good move. Maybe better than most expected.
Living with opioid addiction.
Now keep an eye on the pitch count here with the strikeouts, the walks, and a lot of long at bats. Grant Holmes, this will be pitch number 86 tonight.
Number 86. Grant Holmes. That one's Jack foul.
Nobody up in the bullpen right now, but this pitch count is climbing quickly. And that's because, one, we saw some of the, I'm sorry to laugh there, but Rick Grant's to get a little bit annoyed with all these foul balls in this inning. But one, because the command hasn't been exactly where Grant Holmes has wanted it, and then all these foul balls that are fouled.
And we're only in the fourth inning.
98 is the career high for Grant Holmes. That game he pitched against the Colorado Rockies last year. A start And that was in 5 innings. So he's never seen triple digits and starting to get a little bit uncomfortable with where this pitch comes. You'd love to see him in this inning quickly.
How about right here? 1-2. No, single to center. Off the bat, it's stuck.
Single to center mound visit, I guess.
And the ninth man in the order, Brandon Marsh, will come up now.
Let's see if this does it for the Braves.
Not a bad pitch, even though they were trying to go away. It's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that is in.
Oh. Hopefully that chant helps him a little for the boys. Grant Holmes. Wow.
Looking out to the bullpen, I thought maybe that visit was to buy some time. And there's starting to be a little movement out there, but nobody's throwing yet.
Nobody's throwing. Picked up a ball and started tossing anything.
Marsh 0 for 1. He takes a slider outside.
Outside. Yeah. 89 pitches. 89. 2 4 innings.
Between the two teams, 9 base runners so far, but nobody has come across to score. One ball, one strike. 95 misses in.
95 misses in.
Marsh began to offer. He holds up. If he reaches, it's back to the top of the order in Schwarber.
Getting the idea of any of these Philly hitters seeing Grant Holmes for a third time in only the 4th inning. Not ideal. So, like to make a pitch here in the zone, trying to pitch to weak contact. You don't want to shoot too far on the edges and fall behind, or end up walking Marsh.
Well, that slider is in the zone. He gets a piece. A big pitch coming right here. Only the 9th career start for Grant Holmes, the 7 last year, now his 2nd here in 25. And a big 3-2 pitch. He struck him out. At 95 by it. Phillies strand 2, and we are still scoreless. This gas to get the Georgia native Brandon Marsh.
Choose to follow your instincts. Every Mazda is designed to feel like it was made just for you.
At LLB, we've been innovating for over a century, making great products better so you can feel better day after day, year after year. Outside together since 1912. LLB, being up.
By the way, Atlanta and Phillies are tied at 9. Isn't that the team Bob Uecker used to play for? Won't they call the Milwaukee Blades before that?
That's going to be fun to watch this snap. That is the best ballpark in the world to pitch in San Francisco.
A lot of
We'll
experience.
start at 7:40
Where does
Central.
Steve's headed?
8:40.
Logan Webb might be the most underappreciated quality pitcher in all of baseball.
If this team is going to make noise, it's going to be because of their starting rotation. For me, it's really important for us to establish.
I would
You're
watch
going to be
it.
talking about the Giants in September again.
It's not late.
Don't miss the first MLB All-Star Week event at Truist Park. As talent meets tradition in the third annual HBCU Swingman Classic, presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLB Youth Development Foundation. Join
What the hell is Truist Park?
alumni to watch Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. shine a light on 50 of the best young ball players from HBCUs around the country on baseball's biggest stage, July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
Symmetric line scores 0-3-0 for both teams as we take a look at our racetrack. Fueling up
I'm right here.
the offenses. The Braves have gotten to Truist Park, started to heat up a little bit.
And good to see. We know that it was a rough road trip to start the season, but you get home, get some of that home cooking.
Tie game.
The batting average, OPS, the runs that followed, and a few more here tonight.
Just a few more here and now.
Braves have
Ins and
traded
outs.
5, and 6 have
I was
been
just
traded
yakking.
for the Phillies so far.
Off screen.
So Holmes and Walker have flirted with trouble, but both have been able to work around it.
Called strike. Strike 2 to be exact. 0-2 the count. Walker, and
Braves have won the season series against their rival, the Phillies, for 4 straight years. And 1 game.
Walker, 3 innings.
And trying to go ahead here in the 4th in game 2. And a good start with a Sean Murphy single.
Sean Murphy to the plate. I mean, now 2 innings, 4 hits, no runs, none earned, 1 walk, 4 Ks. De La Cruz.
70th pitch coming for Taiwan Walker. De La Cruz signaled against him in the 2nd. Still not as much talk the last couple of days about those.
I shut that phone.
It went quiet pretty quickly for the New York Yankees in that series where they kind of put the whole conversation out there for everybody. Had a lot to do with the
Actually, I'm over kind of a Braves fan because Jacob, to be exact. Did you know Atlanta? Before they were the Atlanta Braves, did you know they were called the Milwaukee Braves? 5, 4, 3, double play around the home they go.
Kelnick coming up. He's a spotlight for our Zaxby Saucy play. CJ, walk us through this heat.
Oh, he's done a great job against the Phillies to go back to the last 2 seasons here for Jared Kelnick and doing damage in, down, and in, and even in off the plate. As we take a look at some pretty impressive numbers for Jared Kelnick. And,
was he trying to call time and then, or did Dan Merzel stop him in the middle of his movement there?
That was an umpire time or if that was Jared Kelnick calling time.
A strike to Jared Kelnick. Do you hear me? I can't. Are you trying to hit talk back to talk to the truck?
Yeah, could you talk in there?
I could, yeah. So I don't know if the world heard you.
I talk back to the truck.
Just watch your mouth. Well, lead off single, but nothing. 4 scoreless here at Truist Park.
If you have polycythemia,
This talk back button ain't working. Oh boy. How in the heck can you not have a talk back button work?
Jakafi kept the volume of red blood cells under control and reduced spleen size. Jakafi can
back to the truck.
Tell your doctor right away if you develop bleeding, bruising, tiredness, shortness of breath, or fever, or if any of them get worse. And before taking Jakafi, if you have an infection, have a
no comment. Schwarber, Turner, and Hopper.
There's increased risk of major cardiovascular
1, 2, 3.
blood clots in the legs or lungs, sometimes life-threatening, and an increased risk of lymphoma and other cancers. The most common side effects are low red blood cell counts, dizziness, and diarrhea. Why let PV impact your moments? Discover the path to possible. Talk to your doctor about Jakafi.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central.
Let's get it started.
Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns.
Perfect balance. What?
Interviews with the players,
Get back to the fastball. I know what that passion feels like.
and a little bit of everything else. The window seats are. The baseball day begins with MLB Central. Weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Only on MLB.
Anybody want to listen to MLB
You're the problem.
this morning? Not me. Well, unless if you wake up at 5:30 in the morning.
Let's check out our T-Mobile coverage cam. Grant Holmes, 4 innings scoreless so far, and he is coming back out for a fifth here against the Phillies.
6 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's had to dig deep here a couple of times since some very tough at-bats as the pitch count continued to climb here. 94 to start this inning for Grant Holmes, and the Braves would love to see him find a way to get through 3 more outs if he could.
Strike right there.
Through the order, Schwarber's
Strike one.
strikeout and a ground out.
To Schwarber with the DH.
Braves do have Aaron Bummer getting ready in the bullpen.
We did not see a lot of this from Grant Holmes.
Aaron
We pitched just 20
Bummer.
batters, third time through, of course. Most of the time.
Losing with
Played in
Braves.
the bullpen and shorter outings even as a starter, but opposing batters went 7 for 19. Third time through, that's 368 on the back.
Schwarber wanted that one back. Fouls it. Behind Schwarber, it's Turner, then Harper. Those will be the 3 tests here for Holmes if he can get that far, but he's at 97 pitches. One, two. High and away.
So he started this inning 23 foul balls against him. That is the exact same number he had through 4 innings against the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's a big number.
Foul ball. 2-2.
Now, for the first time in his young big league career, he's going to hit 100 pitches thrown in a ball game.
'99 pitches.
2-2.
2-2, 100 pitch. Got him on the curve.
To secure the strikeout, Schwarber's 0 for 3. Or did they say foul ball?
Oh, now they're saying foul ball, huh?
I thought he signaled strikeout.
So did I.
Let's see, did they get it right? No.
There's a bounce there at the end. Walt Weiss on the phone, but nothing to do about it now. Just move on. But that does raise that pitch count even more.
And I don't think that play you can challenge.
No.
You can ask for an appeal, you can ask for some help maybe, and sometimes they'll have that meeting where the umpires will get together. But I think what they heard and what they heard behind the plate there was the ball hitting the ground. That's frustrating. That's 2 more foul balls. 2 more pitches.
Yeah, I thought, because I heard the sound too, I thought it nicked his bat. I just didn't know if Murphy caught it clean. Murphy didn't, but after looking at it, I don't know if it got his bat. And now you've got a full count.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? If you can challenge a hit by pitch, why can't you challenge whether or not the bat hit the baseball?
This is it again.
The ball didn't change direction.
It did not. That's unfortunate. So put a highlighter next to that. That's going to end Grant Holmes' night. Schwarber down at first. Ball's responsible for him, and Aaron Bummer is going to come on out of the Braves bullpen.
If you
you have polycythemia vera, or PV, it may impact your moments. Like
So-
the way you feel on getting older, it could mean your PV is getting worse. It's time to help take control of your PV. For adults with PV who have already taken medicine called hydroxyurea, and it did not work well enough for them.
And let me push this. It should now update.
Jakafi can cause low blood cell counts. Tell your doctor right away if you develop bleeding, bruising, tiredness, shortness.
Warnings.
Any of them get worse. And before taking Jakafi, if you have an infection, have or had TB or hepatitis B.
Pitching change and Bummer replaces Grant Holmes.
Increases in cholesterol have been reported. With another JAK inhibitor, there's increased risk of major cardiovascular events in those who have risk factors, blood clots in the legs or lungs, sometimes life-threatening, and an increased risk of lymphoma and other cancers. The most common side effects are low red blood cell counts, dizziness, and diarrhea. Why let PV impact your moments? Discover your path to possible. Talk to your doctor about Jakafi.
Think you know? And the Braves baseball is brought to you by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida. By Racetrack, here with whatever gets you going. And by Synovus, the bank that helps you get there. Brett Holmes topped 100 pitches for the first time in his career. He leaves in a scoreless game. We'll tell you about the pitching change in a moment. Hey, make an appointment to hear what's happening around the baseball world during Atlanta Braves Today. Join the locker room weekday morning, 7:45 on 680 The Fan, 93.7 FM, or the Fan app as well. There are the boys, Darren O'Day on Casual Night, Ben Ingram, and the newly minted father, Jonathan Chadwick, in the back.
You're allowed to wear a white T-shirt to work? That's unbelievable.
I guess if you're Darren O'Day, you could pull it off. Speaking of relievers, here comes Aaron Bummer.
And the idea here for Aaron Bummer, what he does best, he keeps the baseball on the ground. Can he get a ground ball in this inning and perhaps 2 outs on 1 ground ball?
Good location there as he starts.
Good
to
location.
Turner. $103 pitches, the 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, and just a lot of long at bats, a lot of foul balls by these Phillies hitters.
They did not make it easy on him. You mentioned those foul balls and working the count, getting it to a lot of 3-ball counts as well. But Grant Holmes really didn't falter. Obviously, a 0 on the board. He is responsible for the runner at first.
Now 1-2 to Trey Turner. They're trying to keep Turner healthy. He was dealing with back spasms during spring training. Missed a couple of games early on. It kept him out of the lineup, but he's been feeling good the last couple of days. Can't be feeling too good after that. He's late. Bummer strikes him out.
As much as we look at Aaron Bummer as the guy who can generate those ground balls, he elevates here a couple of times to Trey Turner. And that's not where you go where you're trying to get ground balls. That's where you go when you're trying to get swing and miss, and he was able to get it. Quite honestly, Trey Turner's a tough guy to double up anyway with the plus speed.
And now you've got Bryce Harper and then Alec Bohm behind him.
Yeah.
Ground ball, Matt Olson. Spans, fires to second. First double play. 3-6-3. Bummer gets the job done. We're still scoreless.
3-6-3.
They bring him in, get the ground balls, and structure defense. It is a good defense behind him, and the boys making that one look pretty easy.
Bum bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum.
Not just for Fridays anymore.
Get broiled or do it up that fry. All crispy and golden, just the way you like it.
Whenever you want food, family, and fun, make it Features and Holman.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today to stream up to 15 live out-of-market games a week and 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows. Start streaming MLB Network for just $5.99 a month.
War is back in Motown. Right down Major League Baseball with a new Tiger King. Look at him walking off the mound. This guy's happy. This kid's special, doing it all. Riley Green saves the day.
He does everything on the field, plays great defense, can steal bags. He's a monster. If I'm on time, I know my swing's going to be in the best spot possible for me to hit the ball.
Riley Green turns into another.
MLB All-Star Weekend Truist Park starts with the HBCU Swingman Classic presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLB Youth Development Foundation. July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
Come on in, baseball fans.
Midsummer Classic coming to Atlanta this summer. And don't forget about the HBCU Swingman Classic around that All-Star game. It'll be July 11th here at Truist Park. For more information, visit allstargame.com.
Oh, Truist Park.
9-1-2 here for
9-1-2.
Walker out there. His pitch count at 74.
Orlando Arcia.
Arcia in the third. And try to get him to chase a curveball. Whoa, right back where it came from.
Right back, right where it came from. Come on.
The previous curveball, we knew it could be susceptible to right breaking pitches off the plate. They tried to do it again, but look where this one is, right in the middle of the plate and elevated. You can see the frustration from Taiwan Walker knowing that he missed the spot and Orlando made a play. Second straight inning that the Braves have had a leadoff single. Last inning in the fourth, Murphy was erased when Dela Cruz hit into a double play. Let's see what Harris does here. No. Our Sonomas get their feature of the game. Michael Harris talks about how good he has been recently, and talk about him hitting leadoff. Strikeout rate 12%, well below that career average, and comfortable in the leadoff spot. We know that he will be aggressive, but it's been a non-issue for Michael when he has been called upon to slide in that spot. Obviously, the times that Ronald has been out, there's been more opportunity for him, and he's been very good. 2 groundouts tonight for Michael. Off the end of the bat to stay alive. He came in with some good history against Taiwan Walker. 0 for 2 so far tonight, but 4 for 5 before the night started.
4 for 5.
Michael, 1 homer so far this year. That came out in Los Angeles. Looking for his first at Truist Park. But a strikeout, four-seam fastball high. And Michael back to the bench. First out here at the bottom of the 5th. Like out of the chase here, 93 miles an hour up above the zone. A couple of pitches that we have seen. This is some pretty good work by Taiwan Walker, mixing and matching up and down and away against Michael in that plate appearance. Taiwan Walker, the native of Shreveport, Louisiana, trying to get through 5 scoreless. Maybe that strike zone expanding a little bit for Dan Merzel. In on the hands, over towards Bohm, and plenty of room for the second out.
Ozuna up to the
Now the
plate,
Big Bear.
a.k.a. the Big
He grew
Bear.
up at
mention that because Vlad Guerrero Jr., if you missed it, just inked himself a big $500 million contract in Toronto with an absurdly high signing bonus. We found out today, reporting from Ken Rosenthal, that the signing bonus on that $500 million contract was $325 million. Now, not all in one shot. It'll be paid over the length of the deal. Still, what a crazy structure. Pretty good day for Mr. Guerrero. There's some tax accountants hard at work trying to figure out the best way to put that deal together because no deferrals, but a ridiculously large signing bonus. And speaking of the Toronto Blue Jays, a former reliever for theirs, Mr. Romano, is now throwing in the bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been one guy that has really struggled in that pen, so wouldn't mind seeing him on it right now, to be honest, with the way that Walker's going. Opportunity for him to do damage.
Yeah.
Splitter in there for a strike.
Hello.
Splitter again, unintentional, but it's not one of the pitches that Olsen is looking for because that's not a spot you ever throw that pitch on purpose. So if
Go.
Stop it. Let's go here for more citizens of the law. That's a great law.
He only listens to your tips.
Because it's my baby. You gotta feed your lawn. Feed it. The consistency is everything. Scott's weed and feed product.
No, come.
Take my lawns. This lawn is the enemy of weeds.
Our life is complicated. Our lawn, simple.
Kill existing weeds and thicken your lawn all spring with Turf Builder Weed and Feed.
Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Your day in baseball starts with MLB Central.
Let's get it started.
Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns,
Perfect balance. What? Boom.
interviews with the players,
Get back to the basketball. I know what that passion feels like.
and a little bit
Hey, family. Hey.
everything else. The window seats are. The baseball day begins with MLB Central, weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
If you're not watching this show, you're the problem. All your favorite games from MLB Play are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grip, where stats and strategy collide. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. For something completely new, there's Spinball. Just spin the wheel and build your team for a chance to win. And can't forget the classics like Trivia, By the Numbers, and MLB Bingo. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB.com.
Bases loaded. Who's coming up? Number 2-7. Austin Riley had the same situation in the third. He popped out. Let's see how he does here in the fifth. He's the spotlight of our Yellowwood, bringing the lumber feature. We'll take a look at what Austin Riley has done in the last 4 years against these Phillies. Pretty good numbers. And a chance to put the Braves on top. The new pitcher here is Jose Ruiz.
Jose Ruiz.
And you see it there, 94 miles an hour from this right-hander. Jose Ruiz, this will be the fifth game that he has pitched this year. He has given up a home run. It's only been 2 1/3 innings. Got the curveball and the changeup. You got to deal with the long 2 fastballs. There's that curveball to even the count. The Braves left him loaded back in the third, stranded 2 in the second. Now loaded here again in the fifth. Hand on the hands. We've really seen too much of that over the last calendar month. This is already his 4th plate appearance this season with the bases loaded. Last year at 9. We're only at game 11, folks. Swing and a miss. Big swing, 2-2. $35,000 people here just waiting for something to happen offensively. 2 down, 2-2 pitch. Pop back on the play.
Pop back on play. This is Braves Country Stream.
Ruiz in his second year with the Phillies, coming in at a big spot here in the fifth. A Roxy fires. Riley, shot on right center. Will it fall? It will not stop. Over the shoulder grab.
Tie game.
Preserve the 0-0 tie.
More waves for less. More home cooking for less. More trails for less. More destinations for less with American Airlines. The breeze. When you load, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door, and that just clean freshness is going, gone. Unless you keep it fresh with Febreze Small Spaces. It's an outlet-free air freshener that continuously fights odors and freshens for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom is going to smell amazing. Choose from over 25 delightful scents. Febreze Small Spaces.
Is coming in a brand new format. Join Lauren Gardner and Xavier Scruggs as they explore all the baseball buzz across social media, pop culture, and around the majors. The All Base Podcast, all season long, only on MLB Network.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field. We're able to use our platform and let these kids know that dreams are reachable.
It's very important to leave something behind to show our gratitude. Stand up to cancer. Together.
Yes, Hal.
A star is born talking about Jackson Cheerios.
Truly believe in the person and the person that Jackson Cheerios is. You have to love
Computer, man.
20+ homers, 20+ stolen bases. It's the first duo that had 2 home runs in the postseason game.
Come on, back out to
On
pitch.
the 6, want to give a quick shout out to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital up there in Nashville. They always have the Braves on, big part of Braves country up there. And Dr. Philip Thomas, all the doctors, nurses, staff, especially the kids. We know you're rooting for the Braves, and we are rooting you on up there at the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Thanks for being a part of tonight's telecast. We're going to go out and CJ Nikowski, Wiley Ballard with you, and it's still a scoreless tie here between the Phillies and the Braves. Yeah, it's been amazing to watch this game. Grant Holmes battling through 4, keeping the Phillies off the board. You had Bummer come in and finish up that inning facing his 2 hitters and getting that ground ball double play. Thankfully, that's foul off the bat of ball. And perhaps we have to consider for Taijuan Walker, this kind of new look for him is real. It's been 2 starts now. We wondered, was it just the Rockies? But he comes in
Braves
against
need
the
to
Braves and does a good job.
wake
He got
the bats
from his bullpen. Yeah, they were raving. Rob Thompson said it in spring that he looked good, but you never know, right? In spring training, it's different. Will it translate? So far, it has to the regular season. Last night, Wheeler Sale, I thought that might be the game that was scoreless going to the 6th, but last night, a lot of offense, not tonight. You know what that means, right? Luzardo Schwellenbach tomorrow. Tons of runs coming your way.
Hey, don't jinx
I
it.
feel like now, when Schwellenbach takes the mound, he's been so good, there's this anticipation and excitement, and I feel that about tomorrow's game. Yeah, he is appointment television right now. He has been excellent coming off that 8-inning outing. And Luzardo, new acquisition over from the Marlins to the Phillies. That should be a fun game tomorrow to finish off this series.
I'll be right back, everybody. Jacob, can you make sure the chat stays clean?
Ball knew it. He has struck out 3 times tonight.
Kepler, that,
It's a good looking
and
sweeper. This is
Bowman
the go-to pitch. Even though
called
he has a
out
good
on
two-seam fastball to
strikes.
finish off hitters for strikeouts, the sweeper is the one that does the job for Aaron Bummer. Bummer masterful so far. Did you get your talk back figured out over there? I hope so. Because we just ran a inappropriate test to see. We're going to go all the way in right now. We're going to say dirty word just to see if it's working. And that's so CJ can talk to the folks in the truck. Producer Gretchen Caney, our director Andrew, don't call me Andy Greathouse, and everybody else helping put this telecast together here tonight. It's one of the worst things that you can do is tell people what you don't want to be called in this atmosphere. Yeah, because he's Andy forever now. Kepler, he's 2 for 3 tonight. 4 singles.
Oh, that's...
So now with Castellanos coming up, Brian Sticker's going to make the move. Braves are going to go back to the bullpen here with 1 out of the 6th.
Are you tired of restless, interrupted sleep and waking up with no energy the next day? Has every sleep solution that you've tried left you groggy in the morning? At CB Distillery, our expert botanists distill hemp to its purest essence to help people calibrate their health. Fall asleep fast and stay asleep through the night with our high-quality, 100% clean gummies. No fluff, no fillers, just pure, effective products, expertly crafted in Colorado. CB Distillery, distilling what matters.
Privacy at the touch of a button. Your home tells a story. Let Kish & Sons help set the scene with smart home technology from Lutron.
Turn on baseball's biggest game changer, MLB Big Inning. Experience live baseball in a whole new way with up to 4 games on a single screen. MLB Big Inning every game night on MLB.tv.
This is the guy who has MVP type potential. Luis Robert is one of the most talented players in the league. Great nickname, La Bandera. He has the potential to be a 30-30 guy that can knock in 95 to 100 runs. As a fan of the game, there's nobody I enjoy watching in center field than the Swamp.
To left field. It's gone. Royce Lawrence puts his team on top. Looks at racing in. Held down. They don't get there. He struck him out. All right, so pitching change, we'll tell you about it in a second, but right now it's time to go below the surface. Brought to you by Georgia Aquarium. Last 2 seasons against the Phillies, Brace Volkman has been solid. Yeah, they really stepped up against a very good lineup with that sub-2 ERA, but it's the strikeouts, 50 of those in the 48 innings, that really stick out. You get Pierce Johnson and it's really good curveball here against Nick Castellanos. There is that curveball to get to no balls and 1 strike. 4th game of the year for Pierce Johnson. Done a nice job so far. 4 strikeouts and just the 1 walk. And 2 2/3 innings. I know Bill Bummer gave up the single, but think back to last inning, strikeout double play, then a strikeout to ball. Pretty good outing for Eric Bummer. Yeah, and this is not an easy decision. It's not just left first right. Bummer does a really good job getting the ground balls, but I think it's the breaking ball in particular for Pierce Johnson right on right where they feel comfortable against Nick Castellanos. Got the call, a little delayed, but it'll take it. I caught the corner. It wasn't intentional, but it turned out to be a really good front door curveball. Kepler down there at first base with 1 out. And Johnson ready with a 1-2 pitch. Hit well. Left center. Michael still going back, but he's got him on the track. Exhale, Braves country. Exhale. 2 away. Castellanos followed through that one as if he had gotten it, right? We've seen that a lot from him. He's got great power. He's still looking out there and watching the replay, but I believe he thought this was going to leave the ballpark when he hit it. The wind appears to be blowing a little across the diamond, left to right. I don't know if that made it die down inning. Breezier than it was at the start of the game. So now the catcher, Real Muto. 0-1. The highest paid catcher in baseball, making a little over $23 million a year. Wanted that one. And Realmuto, one of those guys that's going to be a free agent at the end of the year as he takes a look at that curveball. Sean Murphy did a great job presenting it. They don't get the call. But Schwarber will be a free agent as well, right? Kepler, Romano, and Ranger Suarez, who is currently hurt. So a couple of key pieces to this lineup. It does feel like they figured out something here with Realmuto. He's been a really good fit in Philadelphia, but it'll be highly sought after, even as he gets a little bit older. 7th year as the Phillies starter back there. 2-2 count. Here's Johnson looking to send us to the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a check over on Kepler. That's been one of those outings so far here for Pierce Johnson where we have only seen the breaking pitch. He's talked about mixing it up potentially a little bit more, but this one with the back against the wall in a tight game, it's been all curveballs. Hit to center field. Four-seam fastball, and he was ready for it. So 2 base runners here with 2 away. That's a good piece of hitting. I don't mind the fastball here, especially in that location. You've seen all of these breaking balls, middle and bottom of the zone, and you elevate the heater. That is not easy to get to at 96 miles an hour. It's that flat, short swing. And impressive from Realmuto. So the top of the sixth continues, and the eighth man of the order now, Bryson Stott, who's 1 for 2 tonight. I'm going to warn you that I'm about to sprint out of here after the top of this inning because back of my teeth are floating. I got to run to the urinal, so you might have to start at the bottom of the sixth. Put that under the TMI file for April 9th, 2025. Pierce went with that first pitch fastball, but he missed. And the one thing about Bryson Stott, he's pretty much going to give you a free strike. 3% of first pitch pitches that he has actually swung at. That is ridiculously low. League average sits around 34%. Now Johnson trying to get back in the zone here behind 2-0. That's nowhere near. Brandon Marsh on deck. Both sides, pitching-wise, have been flirting with trouble, but no one has been able to score yet. Phillies with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the sixth. Right down the chute, 3-1. All right, now back to full. Good curveball from Pierce Johnson. Three, 2. Ground ball, Ozzie gets to it. But they might score a run. They will. He bobbled it on the exchange. Kepler never stopped running. And he scores to make it 1-0 Philadelphia. This started out looking like first it was going to be a clean base hit. Then Ozzie gets there, gets it in his glove, and then you're thinking incredible play coming up. That is full extension, but it's on that exchange. As you can see, the handle is not in the glove as the ball started to pop out. And if he had just been able to even make that exchange, if the throw wasn't there at first of the play, they would have had a play at home. But unfortunately, that ball got away from Ozzie. And the Phillies strike first, RBI single by Stott. And now damage control time for Pierce Johnson, trying to keep this at 1-0 with the runners at the corners. Yeah, I thought off the bat that was going to get out to right field. Frustrating Ozzie. He's kind of shaking his head there that he couldn't get that exchange clean. Grounder 0-2. It's 35,323. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Marsh. Got a good piece up, Marsh. He'll walk it off. Now, after falling behind 3-0, there was some concern there. Pierce Johnson seemed frustrated, didn't quite look right, and since then, he's actually executed pitches really well. Couldn't quite get stopped, but he's 3 good pitches to him, and now here to Marsh. He's been pretty good. That breaking ball looks to be back on point. Runner breaks for second. Olsen's got it. It's fair right there on the back. And that saves another run, maybe 2. The Phillies do strike first. It's 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the sixth.
You're starting the season in high spirits, Sagittarius, and this extra boost of energy will help you round the bases and hit home runs. You're ready to take on any opponent that comes your way with a smile on your face. Revel in this exciting time when strikeouts are few and far between.
One more bag. Your advantage status gets you one more.
Little more. More rewards. More often. Get more with the American Airlines Advantage program.
It's more powerful equipment to power your projects, so we're powering up savings during Spring Fix. Get a free 56-volt battery when you shop Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless power. Lowe's is your destination to shop Ego this spring. Lowe's knows how to help you spread.
Well, maybe you should start. It's your presentations. They're bad. There was the quarterly review, employee training week, Gary's retirements, and even the office pet policy.
Temporary.
This template is timeless.
Show them the thing. Canva.
Canva?
It's easy.
You made that? You made that for me? Okay.
He's in.
MLB All-Star Weekend Truist Park starts with the HBCU Swingman Classic, presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLBPA Youth Development Foundation. July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the store-wide mattress sale going on now. By Georgia Natural Gas, live the greener life. And by the All-South Highway Safety Team, never mix drinking and driving. Well, it's just a few days ago where it looked like Sean Murphy might begin this week in AAA with the Gwinnett Stripers continuing that rehab assignment after suffering that cracked rib in spring training. But after homering last night, starting again tonight, Brian Stifter said that he will also start tomorrow. So all 3 games of this series. And the question continues, how will the Braves split time between Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin? And, Snip was clear at the start of the week when they activated Sean that they felt like Drake could learn more up here, even with reduced at-bats at the major league level, seeing major league pitching, and also working with the Braves pitching staff. But, guys, it seems like Sean Murphy is fully healthy. He's going to catch 3 days in a row.
Yeah, and he's looked really good at the plate. He's done a good job behind home plate so far. Now, the issue there becomes for Drake Baldwin. Well, I agree 100%. There's a lot to learn here, being around Sean Murphy, being around these big league pitchers. There's a number in there where you start to get a little bit uncomfortable as far as how often is he playing and continuing that development.
It seems to me a good number would be 2 times a week for Drake Baldwin, 2 out of 7 games. I mean, what do you think?
That absolutely works, and he'd rather be here doing that than catching 5 or 6 days a week in the minor leagues, and there's benefit to that. And we like the at-bats. Murphy even talked about the at-bats and the quality of the at-bats, even though the results hadn't been there just yet.
Of course, last year, the running mate with Sean Murphy was Travis d'Arnaud. Such a fan favorite, such a great guy in that clubhouse. Now he's out with Ron Washington and the Angels.
I talked to Mark Gubazat today on my radio show, who does, of course, TV for the Angels. Been doing it for 19 years, and he brought up Travis d'Arnaud. He said it's been a treat for them to have him there, just because Logan O'Hoppe, their main guy, played so much that he felt like he got worn out.
Check down, did not go, says Mark Carlson. So the Braves leadoff man aboard again here in the 6th.
That's a good job by Sean Murphy holding up that swing. They get down 3 innings in a row where the leadoff man has been on twice. It has been Sean Murphy, and it's about time for the Braves to catch that in.
All right, De La Cruz, a single back in the 2nd, grounded out to the double play in the 4th. Ooh, that was a home run type swing there from De La Cruz.
Why not? First pitch fastball. It's in the upper part of the zone. Looks good. Coming out of the hand. Go for it.
10 for 25 if you add it tonight against Taijuan Walker in his career. Close, but they say De La Cruz is out at first.
But you do get the tying run into scoring position because of the bobble.
And that could be a break that you'd like to see the Braves cash in because it could have been a double play off the heel of the glove, rushing here, and then you're kind of hoping could you get a bad throw, but it's a really good one there from Alec Bohm. No panic after that bobble.
Well, Bohm has gotten better. All Phillies fans know he had his issues over there at third base a few seasons ago. Still, he's not the best third baseman in the league. He'll have those moments, and maybe the Braves can take advantage.
And this is a good matchup for Jared Kelenic when you take a look at Ruiz and what he has done against lefties since the beginning of last year. 329 is the batting average. OPS of 953.
Late. So Ruiz coming into the game last inning, replacing Taijuan Walker, and now he in the bullpen trying to keep that shutout. Atlanta has left 8 on base so far tonight. Change up misses. Full count.
A couple of good takes here from Jared Kelenic once again. Talked about what he did last night. He's laid off these borderline pitches so far.
Ruiz with a 3-2. He lays off that. So 3 walks last night. Now 4 in the series. Caleb cuts them back on the phone with a bullpen. So Braves have 2 on with 1 out. Big spot here for Orlando Arcia. Ground ball, ball jacks for both of them. The ball game is tied. One pitch Ruiz would not throw to Orlando. He threw it to him. The 2-seam fastball. He is so good at pitches coming in toward him. Even though this is ground ball, he hit it hard, 106 miles an hour. You're going to see it tip the glove and then get past Trey Turner for that base hit. Sean Murphy scores easily. Orlando Arcia is amped up for good reason. Braves give up a run at the top of the 6th and get it right back. And now you've got the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Just enough redirection off the glove of Bohm to get out to left field. RBI single all the way for Orlando. Michael Harris. Right center field. This is going to give Atlanta the lead. Kelenic tags. 2-1 Bravo. Remember what we saw last night from Michael? The sacrifice fly, just wanted to get the ball in the air to get a run in. He did it in the 6th inning, and now he does it here again in the 6th inning. Back-to-back nights for Michael. When you need a sac fly, he has come through. Awkward off the end of the bat for Ozzie Albies. Bohm makes this play, but the Braves grab the lead, 2-1 after 6.
Choose to feel it. The Mazda CX-5, engineered to give you effortless control.
One thing that surprised me about RBA is they want to do school, whereas it was kind of a struggle before.
All of the educators, the staff, the therapists, the specialists, everybody is so knowledgeable. And my favorite thing is that we all work together as a team for the kids. I really feel like we're partners with the RVA. I just love it so much. I know I've said that before, but like I love the RVA.
Billy, I need help with the clicker. One second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car. You mean Carvana. What's your plate number, boss? MOV. Vehicle features.
No accidents, right?
No. Good. Generating offer. Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer. But do you still need help with the clicker?
I'll ask your sister.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
Can't get enough baseball? Get MLB Network today. Scan the QR code to stream up to 15 out-of-market games a week live on any device. Plus, 24/7 access to MLB Network's award-winning shows, including live game look-ins and exclusive player interviews, and live radio play-by-play from all 30 clubs with MLB at bat. Enjoy being home with baseball from virtually anywhere. Scan now to stream MLB Network for just $6.99 a month.
Well, Michael Harris now has his own hat collection. He and his wife, Esther, created these new hats. They're really cool. There's 3 of them. One's a throwback look featuring Mike's love for bright colors. Then there's a spiderweb look with the number 23 on the side, and then that white camouflage hat. That's a nod to the military. Fans had a chance to get their hands on those exclusive hats. That thread stored in the battery. They're available while supplies last, and they will not last long. We've got ours. I feel like Vanna White up here in the booth. So what do you think? Where are you going? If you had to pick one, I like this one.
Of course you.
I like the camouflage. So that's pretty. I like that one though too.
It's big. So now, of course, younger schools here. But what do you this guy?
I do. I'm
that guy too. That's a good sign of age.
It is.
Called out by the younger generation to being an old man. What are you doing on my hat? Don't do that.
I don't mind some straight billed caps, but I also look terrible with a straight billed caps. I do go with a band. But these are cool, and I do want to point out again that his wife Esther really helped design that. Michael was more just along for the ride. But
he got his number on all those, but she did the work.
Dylan Lee looking to do work as he comes in here in the 7th. What a great response by the Braves. All the air out of the balloon, you give up the 1 run, but you strike right back for 2.
Take advantage of both walks in that inning. Good at-bats following it. One from Orlando, another one from Michael to get both of those runs in.
Just a huge frame for Atlanta.
Time to start a new streak here for Dylan Lee. You brought it up. Was it September 23? Was that right? Dave said he hadn't walked the lefty since then. I know he hadn't done it all season long last year. But it was this guy right here, Kyle Schwarber.
And I saw him in the dugout before the game. He goes, I had no idea that stat you shared about my walks against lefties. I said, well, you got to give credit to Wiley Ballard. He shared that with us, but yeah, he didn't know. He wasn't aware of that.
I found the 97 to be equally as impressive yesterday, even though it was a ball. Hardest pitch that he'd ever thrown in his career.
95 that time, in on the knees of Schwarber.
This is the situation he was in last time, right? Where you got that full count. He threw a slider. Schwarber hit it a long way foul. Then he decided to come back with the fastball. He is a tough at bat, even though you feel like you have somewhat of a left-on-left advantage.
But it gets him there. Schwarber took a big hit, but he has nothing to show for it.
That's the thing of beauty right there. Again, Kyle Schwarber probably thinking about the slider because that is mostly what you get from Dylan Lee. And so when you get that in the back of your head, 94 miles an hour is going to jump on you just a little bit quicker.
He was saying, I'm not walking Kyle Schwarber again. Gives him the fastball, gets the first out. Now Trey Turner. Hey, stay tuned for the stretch fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Nick Green, Peter Moylan, and their impeccable pocket squares will join us after 2 more outs.
See, 3-piece suit today for Peter?
Yeah.
That's down underneath that jacket?
He came to play. And Nick with a 1-piece suit. But he looks good. Turner stays away from the slider. 1-2.
That's going to drop out in right field. A very soft single for Turner the other way. You don't see it too often from Dylan Lee. It's about 12% usage on his changeup. It's a good one. He's located well, and look how far off the end of the bat that was. For Trey Turner, he just barely got a piece and hit it 62 miles an hour. Got a false start out of the gate there, but gets down to first. And now Bryce Harper. Turner and Harper, of course, were teammates in Washington, then got reunited in Philadelphia.
2-1 score, Braves. Come on, Braves.
Turner eventually following him to the city of brotherly love. No balls, 2 strikes.
No balls, 2 strikes. 2 in the 6th for the Braves, 1 for Philly in the top half of the 6th. I just missed 1 inning.
And an 0-2 pitch.
0-2 pitch.
Slider down and away.
Slider down and away.
Harper now in year 7 of that 13-year, $330 million deal, which nowadays is just ho-hum. Everybody gets $330. Signing bonus if you're Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
He damn right.
Foul back. Because they spread it out over the 13 years. The AAB, I believe, is around 25 or so, and then have given the Philadelphia Phillies some flexibility to do more things. So while it is a big number, because it was spread out, it doesn't hurt as much as some of these other big contracts. And he still can pay his utility bill. That's important.
Yeah, what's that?
Sean Murphy sliding over to keep it in front. Two balls, 2 strikes.
2-2.
Braves do have Daysbel Hernandez up, and he was fantastic out of the bullpen last night. Well, these 2 guys in particular, we saw it last year.
Come on in.
We saw a little bit with Daysbel Hernandez and those balls.
Daysbel Hernandez up in the pen.
Smith.
He came in last night.
Trying to go through the middle of the lineup with the Phillies in a 1-run lead. Right center, well hit. And it's gone into that bullpen.
Gone.
To put the Phillies back in front. Bryce Harper, 2-run blast.
Phillies, 2-1 blast.
He had a homer on opening day. He had not hit another one until that pitch. We've seen a handful of sliders. There was 1 fastball, and so they go back to the fastball. But look at the location. Sean wants it up in the corner. He wants it down instead. It is middle. Bryce Harper has now hit 45 career homers against the Braves. That is the most by any active player. And that one hurts. One pitch to Alec Bohm, who has struck out 3 times tonight. Not striking out here, but he gets 0 for 4. A quick message from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
After the homer, Daysbel Hernandez sits down, and the new member of that Braves bullpen, Rafael Montero, just came over on the trade from Houston, arrived earlier today. It's actually warming up now for the Braves.
Flips the corner 1-1.
Tie game.
They went fishing. Did Kepler. He's not
Tough
good
one.
against the slide, the previous one, and then that one. Again, that's the go-to.
Swinging and a missing.
Once in a while with a fastball when you're.
He takes a timeout.
Money pitch, especially left on left, is that flat. The other lead trying to send us to the stretch. A 1-2 here to Kepler. Got it.
Got him.
Again. Parker Homer, though, puts the Phillies back in front. Nick and Peter with a stretch.
The stretch is fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the real life with G&G.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Peter Moylan and Nick Green here with you. And Peter, yesterday runs were expected to be at a premium. They weren't necessarily at a premium. The bullpens were the key to both that game yesterday. They've been the key again today. Both starters, neither one of them got out of the fifth inning, but it's one of those games where we didn't expect the runs to be at a premium where they are right now.
Exactly. And I mean, this game today was exactly what we expected yesterday. Grant Holmes comes out, and although he wasn't as efficient as he would have liked to have been, he's able to get through 4 and a little bit of innings to give us a chance to win this ball game. And for Walker, he had a great game against Colorado last time, where he gave up 3 hits in 6 innings. It was much of the same tonight. We made him work there in the 5th inning to get him out of the ball game, but tonight it was again going to be a battle of the bullpen.
And I think it's a tall task for the bullpen, knowing that you have to cover so many innings it was last night as well. The Braves had 4 1/3 shutout innings from their bullpen last night. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the case today, but hopefully they can get back at it with the offense. Let's get you back to Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
At Georgia Natural Gas, we're big fans of Georgia. So you can count on G&G to keep it simple. With great rates that can save you money. And with greener life, you can help make Georgia a place to cheer about for generations to come. Sign up at gng.com. It's that simple.
Braves looking for a little offense going bottom of the 7th, trailing by a run. And one of the themes since Braves hitting coach Tim Hires arrived has been constant conversation inside the Braves dugout, sharing tips when a new pitcher comes in, what that first or second hitter might see. But we saw something a little different tonight. Marcelo Zuna threw out 1/2 inning. Of course, the rest of his teammates in the field spent a long time talking to Tim Hires. You can see here working on that load, where his hands are placed with the leg kick as well. And guys, this went on for about 20 minutes over the course of 1/2 inning. Phillies had a pitching change or 2 mixed in. But so far, it seems like their relationship's in a good place. It's a guy that is always learning, right? You don't become a great player in play as long as Marcelo Zuna has.
Marcelo Zuna.
Obviously, he has the trust of Tim Hires. That relationship goes both ways. It's developed pretty quickly. And Marcel's the first teammate to share that information with other players. We always see him talking with younger guys and really all the guys about hitting. He is passionate about it. But Tim Hires really seems to have come in and earned the respect of these players quickly. You see a lot of those long conversations around the batting cages, and not that that hadn't been the case in the past, but Tim Hires is very well respected. Last 3 years in Texas, World Series title a couple of years ago. And of course, as we documented, he's an Atlanta guy. This was a dream job for him, Newton High School graduate. And have a chance to come back home and work for the Braves.
Strike right there.
Wilson, who's a hitting consultant, does a lot of work with major leaguers and amateur players, often uses the phrase that hitting is a conversation. And it is. And it is ongoing, and it never ends. Marcelo Zuna sends us out to Marsh, and he will take it for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. So they got Joe Ross, the new right-hander, now in this game for the Philadelphia Phillies. Got a 4-2 seam fastball that it's at around 95 miles an hour to go along with his slider and changeup.
heavy ground ball rate for him. Last year, about league average, and it's only 4 innings so far, but he's done a very nice job keeping the baseball on the ground. First year with the Phillies. Last year, he was in the Brewers starting rotation. Then he missed June and July with a low back strain. Comes back, and they put him in the bullpen. But this is the first year that he's been used solely as a reliever, and that's where the Phillies see him here in 2025. And he has had 9 starts against Atlanta in his career as Ross. One to Olsen inside. That man's swing, the difference in the ball game right now. We were scoreless until the 6th.
Scoreless until the 6th.
2, and then Harper with a 2-run homer put the Phillies back on top. And Harper here defensively. Quick message from Zaxby's.
Say hello to Zaxby's Silver Fried Shrimp. Available now. We've got the sauce. Zaxby's.
Hey, folks.
A little bit of the old school here with JT Realmuto and
JT
Joe Ross using
Realmuto.
the fingers to put down the signs. Not a pitch count guy. Chuo.
Get out of here, ball. Tied up. Riley goes yard. Full 17.
We wondered about last night whether or not that would put Austin Riley in a good spot. No doubt he was frustrated with those couple of plate appearances he had with the bases loaded. But 2 doubles yesterday and a huge home run here.
Oh.
7th on a big bash from Riley.
Big bash from Riley.
Sean Murphy, little broken bat.
Broken bat from Murphy.
He'll take it.
Yeah.
On to the 8th.
On to the 8th.
Riley, he got all of this, CJ. Certainly did. 417 feet.
417 feet.
Things up here through 7.
Gangs, we all know Ellie, Gunner, and Paul's road to the show, but what about yours? The amateur years are just the stepping stone, and your journey to the big leagues. Gangs, take control of choices that matter. Now the third baseman, Derek Martin, level up your game. Become a legend, because your road to the show starts now.
We missed you on the
In the history of baseball, he's going to be a perennial all-star, MVP.
It's a unique athlete, a unique talent.
Don't miss the first MLB All-Star Week event at Truist Park. That's Talent Week's tradition in the third annual HBCU Swingman Classic, presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLBPA Youth Development Foundation. Join fans, athletes, and alumni to watch Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. shine a light on 50 of the best young ball players from HBCUs around the country on baseball's biggest stage, July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
You're becoming this consistent hitting machine. Face of the franchise, everything that is Houston now.
And every kind of historically always just assume they're going to play in the ALCS. Here's how late inning heroics once again in the legend. Well, a big home run by Austin Riley following the homer by Harper. We are all tied at 3 as we go to the 8th inning in what has turned out to be a very entertaining ball game. An outright stinker, CJ, is going to turn to Daysbel Hernandez. Now, you mentioned it last night. He delivered in a big spot. The Braves are counting on him to get big outs, and some big outs coming right now in a tie game in the 8th inning. Castellanos is the first batter here. Behind him, Real Muto and then Stott. 6, 7, 8 in the order.
6, 7, and 8 in the order.
We know Daysbel leads with that really good slider, four-seam fastball around 97. Every once in a while, you'll see the two-seamer. But yesterday, when he came in a key spot, he was amped up, and he should have been. It was a good outing for Daysbel Hernandez, and now he's
Daysbel Hernandez. What's the score of Wolves?
He fires home, grounder to the left side. There's the man of the hour right now, Austin Riley.
Austin Riley. 1 on, 2 out.
Hernandez trying to keep this game tied.
Hernandez trying to keep this game tied. Let's go, boys.
Bouncing, Sean Murphy keeps it in front. Brandon Marsh, who graduated from nearby Buford High School, won a state title there before the Angels drafted him in the second round in 2016 out of high school. Awaits a 1-2. Off the end of the bat, foul. Schwarber hopes for his opportunity on deck. Not a bad idea. He chased the previous one. Take another shot at it when you have that 1-2 count. Now a 2-2. Not saying it has to be in the zone or fact, but you shoot a corner. Stay aggressive here against Marsh. Missed the corner just a bit. 3-2.
3-2.
Go ahead and run on second base.
Go ahead, run on second.
Runner at first.
Down at first.
Steps on the bat.
Tie game going to middle of 8.
Choose to get every detail right. Every Mazda is crafted with care you can feel.
I know that I can handle schooling my children because RVA provides the tools that I need. The RVA has adjusted curriculum by placing the children right where their learning is. That's the number one goal, is to make sure that your children are learning. And so you don't move on if they haven't grasped the concept. You pause and you make sure that you grasp that before you move on. The RVA will work with your child's needs and will provide the support and the attention that your child not only needs, but deserves.
Thanks for walking us through the plan.
You guys heading up north soon?
Yeah, we got Lizzie for a couple weeks this summer.
Taking her fishing, I hope. That's the plan.
Yours. Connect us to what's important. A dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors. Backed by a team of specialists, your advisor helps you build a personalized, tax-smart investment strategy, identifying opportunities across your entire portfolio. When life surprises you, your plan can change too. Because doors were meant to be opened.
Your day is baseball starts with MLB Central. Lead off your morning with in-depth breakdowns, interviews with the players, and a little bit of everything else. The baseball day begins with MLB Central, weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
Since its inception, the Boys and Girls Clubs have been more than a fun place for kids to go after school. For some, it's been a second home. Where you can learn, play, and grow. Thanks to the partnership between Boys and Girls Club and Boys and Girls Club, children of all backgrounds have access to safe spaces. MLB together and the Boys and Girls Club of America. Empowering children and building future. Bring it in.
It's been a very entertaining series. Close game yesterday that the Braves won, and now tied at 3, bottom of the 8. At the bottom 3 in the order coming up for Atlanta, starting with David Cruz.
De La Cruz.
Joe Ross back on the mound for Philadelphia. Just two
Joe Ross back on mound.
for De La Cruz against Joe Ross. He has walked in both of those in his career. Certainly would take a base runner right now. Out to right field. Castellanos still going back. Gets over his head. It's right back to him. And he's got a strong arm, so he holds De La Cruz.
Long single for De La Cruz.
Yeah, kind of amazing this bounce. First of all, great job by Brian De La Cruz to go the other way on the first pitch that he sees, a two-seam fastball. Watch this right here. It's perfect. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
No, it does not.
Castellanos and just not enough time for Ryan Daly. There's nothing he could have done differently there.
Ellie White replaces Brian De La Cruz for pinch runner.
Right to the glove. You couldn't have thrown it any better. Now a pitch runner over at first base, Eli White replacing De La Cruz. Kellick squares. He pulls it back high and inside.
High and inside.
So since the beginning of last year, 78 innings pitched for Ross, only 2 stolen bases against him. I think this is more about the ability to take the extra base because JT Realmuto, as we talked about last night, still has a very strong arm. Already squaring.
Ball.
Missed again. Love to see it too, because a lot of times guys will get up there and feel like they can bunt any pitch that they can get close to, and the preference is that they only go after strikes, pull it back the way that Kelnick has done to get yourself in this nice 2-0 count. Lays it down. Oh boy, could have a white second though. White gets foot
White is out.
into the air. That looked like the right call from Jordan Baker. That's a really good play by Bryce Harper. He's got some work to do. It's right-handed throwing first base. When you see it, no charge, he goes a hard run, and he gets around it perfectly. And that throw did just barely beat Eli White. Those two are really good defensively. Well, there's a little bit of burn. That was part of it.
Yeah.
Also a good read and good footwork by Bryce Harper. Orlando, RBI single back in the 6th. They got a gift there.
2 for 3. Trying to get the chop going again.
Double last night, 2 more hits and an RBI tonight for the Braves shortstop.
Yeah.
Grounder home to second, and that's all they'll get. As Kelnick goes sliding in, 2 away. And Rob Thompson is not going to let Joe Ross face the lefty Michael Harris. He's going to go to the pin. We'll be back in a moment.
Pitching change.
One more back. Your advantage status gets you 1 more.
More loyalty points for me.
1 more day.
A little more.
More leg room. More is good.
More reward. More often. Get more with the
Alvarado coming in.
Experience program.
Replacing Joe Ross.
Our experience in the RVA has been wonderful. The teachers are extremely supportive, and Simon really seems to enjoy it and is making friends. He's more socially active now than he was in traditional school.
Something I want other kids to know is that even though it feels like you're not being defense, you actually are. I like how the RVA provides an environment that more suited to my needs.
Jen loved her game hibiscus hula flames until Brad moved in.
Yeah.
Brad wanted a few new exciting additions. And they discovered that when they mixed their scents, they were more than just soulmates. They were set mates. Mix, match, more happy with game.
It's time to feed the dogs real food, not highly processed pellets. The Farmer's Dog is fresh food made with whole meat and veggies. It's not dry food. It's not wet food. It's just real food. It's an idea.
Batter, and the veteran reliever, the lefty, Jose Alvarado, coming on here for the Phillies. A big
Jose Alvarado.
80 miles an hour on average. It's a two-seamer. It moves. It's got a cutter, curveball, four-seamer, but really the two-seamer and the cutter is where he is going to go most. He's dominated lefty since the beginning of last year, the 120 batting average. However, Michael has had some success against it. 4 for 14, including a double in there. Nick Allen is going to run for Orlando Arcia. A little more speed over there, first base. There's 99. 0-1 to Harris. Alvarado's such a good 2023, best of his career. That ERA over 4 last year. But this is a guy they rely on heavily, and it looks like he's going to get out of this frame. Close, but a scoop by Harper. Harris is retired. We're on our way to the 9th.
Going to the 9th.
You're tuned into Send Moves with Dr. Fresh. Caller number 1. Really need your help. My girl's upset with me because I watched the newest episode of our show with them. Are you actually listening to her words, or are you just hearing her heart? If you can you can hear the call. Well, I mean, it was only one episode. I know how to get things.
Schwarber, Turner, and Harper. 1, 2, 3.
Start with champagne spritz and pink rose petals. Trust me, any helps in the mood? Get Dr. Fresh a call.
I know that I can handle with my children because RVA provides the tools that I need. The RVA has adjusted curriculum by placing the children right where their learning is. That's the number one goal, is to make sure that your children are learning. And so you don't move on if they haven't grasped the concept. You stop, pause, and you make sure that you grasp that before you move on. The RVA will work with your child's needs and will provide the support and the attention that your child not only needs, but deserves.
We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Let's just get one of everything.
Buy everything. 30% cash back on tickets.
30% cash back on desserts. What's in your mind?
Dig into some baseball bites that taste so good. Join Lauren Shahadi as the game's top chefs and baseball stars.
Yeah.
Show off some big league eats that hit a home run with fans. Over the Plate, Sunday at 1 Eastern on MLB Network.
Since the dawn of baseball, every player has honed their unique skills.
Greg, well, one of the biggest reasons Bryce Harper gets booed, we take you back 11 years, August of 2014, when he was with the Nationals. See him drag his foot across the A behind home plate, and kind of mocking that a little bit tonight after his 2-run homer. So one way to look at it, I'm not saying you're not right. There's also maturity. He was a young man, and maybe he learned his lesson, or maybe he thought the A standard for Marcia. He didn't want to step on it. Who knows? Who knows what the meaning was behind that for Bryce Harper? I think it's more that sign of maturity. When he was young, he had a little edge to him, maybe sometimes in the wrong way, but he was turned into a pretty good player. And I think a decent guy. I'll make the assumption there was no ill will there. Yeah, he's a whale of a player. You can't get around that. 2-time MVP, 8-time All-Star. He'll be due up third. So Iglesias on here. But before you get to Harper, he's got to get through Schwarber and Turner.
Yeah. Only got 39 views. Come on, people. We'll do.
Tie game of the ninth, but Brian Snitker going with his closer here. Hoping the Braves can close it out the bottom half. A strategy that always makes sense at home, right? Get your best arm out there in this situation that is still in your bullpen and give your team a chance, first of all, to put up the 0, but then to hopefully have an opportunity to walk it off. Struck him out.
Struck him out. Out number 1.
It's a good one for Iglesias. It looks like it's going to be on the corner, and then it just disappears on Kyle Schwarber. That's piece 1 to the puzzle. Now Trey Turner. In the air, left field, Eli White just came into the game. Give it, it's gone. Into the front row of the Phillies.
Peace.
Back in front. Turner's first homer of the year, and it is a big one for his walk-off. It is on the slider, jumping on a first pitch, and that one that just kind of sat in the middle of the plate. That is the third home run that Trey Turner has hit against Raisel Iglesias in just 8 plate appearances. Something about that matchup favoring Turner. And now here's Harper.
Now here's Harper.
In the 7th inning, Bryce Harper, 2-run shot that at the time made it